On April 21st, 2023, I posted this video right here explaining how much money I made in my first 30 days as part of the YouTube Partner Program. And about a month later, it took a little bit of a ride on the algorithm. So what's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. Hi if you're new here, hi if you're not, and an extra special hello to you if you actually came here from that video. I put a poll out on my community tab last week, and it turns out about 39% of you want to know how I plan my YouTube content, and so here we are. In an effort to remain as transparent as possible in my journey creating and growing my YouTube channel, I figured we would go ahead and jump right in. Be sure to stick around to the end because that's where I'm going to share the most important tip, but of course I have put timestamps in this video if you prefer to just jump ahead. Please consider giving this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so I received quite a few questions asking how I come up with consistent content ideas here on YouTube. If you're not really familiar with my channel, I post usually about 3 to 4 new videos every week. Now, for context, that style of content is primarily reactionary, anti-scam commentary, specifically in the coaching space. And so I cover a lot of content related to business coaching, life coaching, and spiritual coaching. And I do a lot of deep dives about problematic people, problematic organizations, and manipulative behavior that takes place in that space. And so that is definitely like my highest ranking, best performing content, but I will occasionally sprinkle in a little small business content where I'm giving advice and showing you how to actually start a business. But for context, that content performs significantly lower or worse, you could say, than my regular channel content. And I know that, I understand that. The algorithm likes consistency. And so when I'm creating small business content, it's kind of like, WTF are you doing? But that's okay. We're just here to help the people and spread the good message, okay? I would say that my process for coming up with content ideas overall is maybe a little bit chaotic, but it does help me to produce like 3 videos a week, so I can't complain and it works for me. Maybe it'll work for you too. Basically, I have a template in Notion or Coda, I've used both, where I will track all of the ideas that I come up with just throughout my lifetime. Like when I'm walking down the street and I'm like, that would make a good YouTube video, I will add it to the list. And then I also keep track of audience suggestions, comment requests, that kind of thing. And so then what I do is I actually take those ideas and I map them out on a physical calendar. I don't know if you can even see this, but I like to pretend it's like 1999 and I keep track of everything on paper just because mentally it allows me to kind of see what projects are coming up when. And then what I'll do is I will take those same titles or video ideas, again in my Notion or Coda template, and I will sort them by the date that I intend to publish them so that they show up nicely in a chronological order. Again, I'm going to get to that later in this video, but for now I'm just going to talk about specifically how I come up with these ideas. So sometimes, like I said before, it's literally just me like outside walking my dog thinking like, wow, it would be really cool to make a video about XYZ. And then other times it comes from people like you watching my videos and typing in the comments, hey Danielle, could you cover topic ABC for me? And then the rest of the time I would say it's usually just me perusing forums on Reddit or getting ads that pop up on Facebook or Instagram. And just anytime I see anything scammy and I think like, I should probably make a video about this. And then I will say that sometimes it comes down to me just like scrolling my own YouTube feed and seeing a particular topic that's trending and thinking like, I would love to cover this on my channel as well. So if other creators in my niche are up to something that seems kind of cool, I will absolutely jump on the same trend. All that to say, I would also recommend that you don't underestimate the power of ChatGPT when it comes to coming up with content ideas. Now, I have 2 videos on this channel that I will link subsequently in the cards right here that teach you how to use ChatGPT for your business, and there very well may be some translation into YouTube specifically. But what I'm going to do right now is give you a specific prompt that I used for creating content ideas for YouTube that I was super impressed with the results of and I think would be very helpful for you to see. So as an example for this video, I said the following to ChatGPT. I have a channel on YouTube where I make commentary content critiquing problematic behavior in the business and life coaching industry. Please generate 3 potential topic ideas that I could use for my channel. For context, my 3 most recent videos were 1, reacting to business coaches sharing misinformation on TikTok, 2, a deep dive into Brooke Castillo and her life coach school, 3, sharing the story of my client who got scammed by a coach. And in response, ChatGPT gave me the following. Now, I'm not going to read this very long and detailed response, but you can go ahead and pause if you'd like to read it. But essentially, by telling ChatGPT my niche, the topics that I like to talk about, and giving examples of what former videos that I've done look like, it was able to generate some really excellent suggestions for content ideas that I very well might use in the future. And as a thank you to you for giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel, I have included a copy and paste prompt that you can use in the description to ask ChatGPT to create these same results for your channel. Now, as a beginner on YouTube, I think it can be really hard to know whether or not you should be scripting your videos. And while for some YouTube creators, scripting can be super beneficial, others prefer the spontaneity and flexibility that not scripting your videos provides. I really think it could depend on what niche you're in, as well as your personal comfort levels when it comes to filming videos. And so while I ultimately think it's honestly just personal preference, I have put together a list of the pros and cons of each. For context, on my channel, basically any of my pre-recorded videos are fully scripted, meaning that if the video you are watching on my channel is not a live stream, it has a full script behind it, or at bare minimum, multiple bullet points keeping me on track and telling me what to talk about. As you can see here, I am literally showing you the exact script for the video you are currently watching. Now, personally, I like to script my videos for a few different reasons. The first one being clarity and structure. I struggle a lot with being able to clearly articulate my thoughts out loud. This is something that I've dealt with my whole life, and I've always been more of like a writer than a talker. I mean, I love talking, but I'm not very articulate when I talk. When I talk off the cuff, I tend to brush over important details, and more often than not, I don't exactly communicate things as clearly as I would like to. For me, scripting allows me to make sure that I cover all of the important points, and I think it just results in a more coherent and complete video. That's not to say your videos won't be complete and coherent without a script. Again, I'm just speaking about me and my personality and what works for me. Okay, the next reason I love scripting is time efficiency. So while yes, creating the script itself takes time, I think that, or I like to think that, I save a lot of time in the filming and editing process. Because I have that script, all I have to do is sit down, turn the camera on, read what it says, and then edit that footage. So for me, it creates a much more streamlined workflow. Lastly, I'd say that scripting my videos has helped me to improve my professionalism and level of confidence. And this one can be particularly beneficial for those of you that are a little bit nervous talking in front of a camera, because having a script, I think, really helps you to feel more confident in what it is you're saying. By knowing exactly what you want to say, you can show up more confidently, make your tone more consistent, and have less of a likelihood of you stumbling over your words trying to figure out what to say. But like I said, I don't think scripting is for everyone, and it really depends on what niche you're in. So I think it's also important that we take a look at some of the setbacks that come with scripting your videos. So first of all, and perhaps most obviously, is the lack of spontaneity. Following a script can sometimes result in like a robotic delivery and can make your content seem less natural or less authentic. I've literally had people in my comments tell me that my delivery in terms of like how I speak is really annoying. Is that a result of the fact that I script my videos? I don't know. You can let me know in the comments down below. Again, depending on your target audience, your content style, maybe a more laid back, relaxed, and informal type of conversation would fit better on your channel. Further to this, a lot of viewers really appreciate that sort of authentic, real life interaction. And by having a video that's not scripted, I think it's much more easy to achieve that sort of vibe. And so for me, this is where I see the role of live streaming coming into play, because I can kind of just like turn on my camera and hang out with my audience / internet friends, and it creates that more authentic vibe. And so I like to mix that kind of content with my scripted content. But again, it's going to depend on you, your audience, and whatever niche that you're in. Okay, next and similarly is the lack of flexibility that comes with scripting your content. So relying too heavily on a script can sort of limit your ability to incorporate new ideas as they come up, or any kind of spontaneous opportunities that arise as you start to film. Now, when I film my reactionary videos, I would say that I have a lot of space for this because I don't really script those videos. Oftentimes, when I'm filming the reaction, it's literally the first time I've seen that video. And so that kind of allows me this flexible opportunity to just say whatever I'm thinking or I'm feeling. And in these cases, not using a script can also allow the opportunity for your humor, improvisation, and a more sort of natural and authentic delivery of that content to come through. Lastly, I would say one of the downsides of scripting is the increased prep time that it takes to prepare for the video. Basically the opposite of what I said in the pros. So while I save time in the filming and editing, I'm spending more time in the preparation to film and to edit. And that's simply because a more scripted approach requires more time in the research and ideation phase to make sure that I'm clearly articulating everything that I want to say in the video. Ultimately, I think the decision to script or not script your video, like I've said, really depends on your niche, your audience, and how you want your content to be delivered to the people that are watching your videos. And maybe you can try both. If you are someone who likes scripted content like me, perhaps live video would be a good opportunity for you to experiment and see if not scripted content could work for your niche as well. I would actually love to hear from you in the comments as to whether or not you script your videos, why you like to or don't like to, or maybe you use a hybrid approach like I do where you kind of do a mix of both. What is it like in your corner of YouTube? Okay, so the irony of this whole video is that I just went on a 10-minute rant about why you should script your videos, and I did not prepare a script for this specific portion of the video, so bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through what my Notion template looks for. I also have a similar template in Coda. If you're not familiar with Coda, it's basically Notion, but under a different name. Anyways, basically, as you can see here, I have all of my content in this middle column here. You can see it's sorted by date. So I started using this Notion template in January of this year. Prior to this, I was building all of my scripts out in a Microsoft Word document that was like 50 pages long. And I thought, there has to be a better way. So as you can see here, we'll scroll back to the top. On the left-hand column, I have the titles or potential titles for all of my upcoming content. The middle column here is the date that I intend on posting the video. And then I have a status column on the right here that tells me sort of where I'm at with the project. So if I click on the video that you're watching right now, I will be able to click on this research in progress. And as you can see here, I have different statuses. So I have the option to say that I've edited the video, I'm still researching for the video, I'm filming it, scheduling it, scripting it, or maybe it's already been posted. So you can see here a lot of my upcoming content, I have not even started working on that. But that's okay. Any of the videos that have already been posted to my channel are all listed here as well. And then the great thing about both Notion and Coda is that they will allow you to add notes. So if I click to open the video that you're currently watching, you can actually see that I'm able to upload not only my script, but also any pictures or videos that I want to have pop up on the screen. In the editing process, I will include here as well. So you can see I have all of this listed here. And so for me, this just kind of helps to give me an overview of what the status is of each video. It kind of helps me to mentally map out what videos I need to be working on when. And then that's why I love the physical desk calendar, because it also allows me visually to kind of see what each week is going to look like. Because I can look at June 10th here in Notion, but I don't know where in the calendar that actually falls. So when it comes to analytics, I know you've probably heard it a lot. I've even said it in my comments a lot. Things like, watch your analytics. They are telling you a story. And you might be sitting there thinking like, well, Danielle, what is the story? Well, first of all, I am no expert by any means, so let me just preface this whole segment of the video by saying that. And I'm almost certain that there are going to be people in the comments who can offer more insight and more information than I can, so please do if that is you. But as a general overview, here are a few things you want to be paying attention to when it comes to your channel and your content. Things like watch time, aka how much time have people spent actually watching your content. Things like average view duration, which basically shows you how much of your videos people are watching. You want to pay attention to your impressions click-through rate, which basically tells you how many people see your thumbnail, see your title, and actually click through to the video. And then you also want to be looking at your audience retention. So how much of your video are people watching, but also where and at what point in the video are people dropping off? Each of these are pretty clear indicators in terms of what is or isn't working in your content and the way you're presenting your content on your YouTube channel. I know for me and my channel, when I first started, my intros were significantly longer than they are now. And I was noticing a lot of people dropping off in that audience retention tab very early in the video. And so I basically cut out that entire segment. And so maybe for you, it's not the intro, but it's somewhere else in the video where you're consistently seeing people drop off. I would encourage you to watch those videos back and see what commonalities they each have that causes people to click out. Watch your own content, because if you're watching it and you're cringing, chances are other people might be too. Another thing that I'm still working on is my click-through rate. I would say my click-through rate is pretty low. At least I think it's low based on the research I've done. And so I've been experimenting a lot with trying out different styles of thumbnails, different keywords in the titles to kind of see if that helps. And so I encourage you to pay attention to your average click-through rate, videos that perform better or worse than that, and kind of see what is or isn't working for your channel. Also keep in mind that every niche is kind of different, and so thumbnails that work in one niche might not work in another, and you want to keep that in mind when it comes to designing your own. One additional and obviously very important metric that I track as a creator who makes multiple different types of content is my views, but I do it in what I believe to be a fairly unique way. Rather than just tracking a video where I'm like, video A that I published on Monday got X number of views. I actually have a spreadsheet that categorizes each video by the type of content that it is, and then it segments it based on the first 24 hours, the first 7 days, and then the first 28 days of that video going live. And so again, I divide it by whether it's reactionary content, deep dive content, scam story content, or interviews. And then I use a pivot table, which don't ask me how to make a pivot table. I got my partner to do it for me. But basically it calculates the average views for each of those time periods in each of those categories and shows me which types of videos are performing best at which time on my channel. And so this has been crucial in allowing me to figure out where I should focus my time and energy and on what style of content my audience actually likes to watch. Because I can look at a reactionary video and see that it got 2,000 views, but then the trends are actually telling me that my interview style content is performing better. And then I know that I should spend more time getting interviews on my channel versus creating reactionary content. And it really just helps me in the forecasting and planning of what content I'm going to be putting out in the coming weeks. So again, full disclosure, I don't know how to make a pivot table, but I have linked a tutorial down in the description of this video if that's something that you're interested in creating. And then aside from all of those stats related to views, I'm also tracking my subscriber growth both week over week and month over month. And this is just for me to get a clearer picture in terms of the trajectory, because obviously I can look at my subscriber count and see that it's going up, but I want to know what the growth rate is, again, week over week and month over month. And so I do that through tracking the percentages as well as charting it on a graph so I can see it visually. My assumption is that if you have a YouTube channel, your goal is similar to mine in that you want it to be growing consistently. And I think the best way to make sure that that's happening is to be consistently tracking what the growth rate is month over month and week over week. Anyways, I hope all of this information was helpful for you. Again, I want to thank you so much for being here on my creator journey. I can't believe there's over 5,000 of you now. I am honestly in disbelief. I'm happy to answer any other questions you have, or if you have recommendations for videos you'd like to see about being a creator on YouTube, I would appreciate if you shared those down below as well. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And in case you missed my video about how much money I made on my first 30 days on YouTube, I will leave that for you right here next. Bye!